The Magic Drawing Pad is XPPEN's first Android device, and it makes a great digital sketchbook to take on the go. When you get back to your desk though, you can even use it as a regular pen display with your computer thanks to EasyCanvas. Let's see how it works. Hey, Ryan here. So when I get asked questions about what drawing tablet to buy, depending on the situation, I often recommend a standalone device like a Galaxy Tab or something like this, the Magic Drawing Pad. The reason for this is versatility. Now, a standalone device is plenty versatile already, more so than a regular pen display which needs to be connected to a computer. But if I can use this tablet connected to my laptop, then that means I can take advantage of much stronger hardware and enjoy my desktop apps as well. The size and the nice drawing surface of the Magic Drawing Pad makes it a pretty okay option for this. There are a few different apps that enable this functionality, but we're going to be talking about the new version of EasyCanvas. I've spoken about the app on here before. Using it with the iPad is actually one of my most viewed videos. But with this latest version, they've made a couple of upgrades. You can use it to mirror or extend your display. So even if not for drawing, it's pretty useful in your setup. On the App Store, you'll find EasyCanvas 2025. Look for this one specifically, not these, which are the older versions. It's a one-time purchase of around $10 US, but before committing, you get a 3-day trial. You also need to download the PC application. If you have other similar apps on your computer, like Space Desk or Super Display, then you might want to remove those first. Then connect your USB cable and you're good to go. It's that easy. To use it wirelessly, you'll need to be on the same Wi-Fi network, and you'll first need to connect it by USB-C and then unplug to use it wireless. The PC app has a new user interface. In here you can change the resolution, the refresh rate, and auto start setting. Over on the tablet, this is where you can do most of the customization. You'll have the option to zoom the display if you want to get a little closer to something. You can adjust the pressure curve of your stylus, which I've set to slightly softer here. Then you have 8 customizable on-screen shortcut buttons. This is a pretty standard amount, the same you might see on a regular drawing tablet. You don't quite have the full keyboard here to assign, but it's enough. You don't get the navigation keys, the arrows, home, end, page up, page down, that kind of thing. You also can't assign mouse clicks. Something that EasyCanvas has added is support for the pen button, which I was quite excited about because I use that to quickly pick colors from my canvas. However, it doesn't quite work the way that I would like. The associated action only triggers on the release of a button, not on the press. That means I can't hold the button down to temporarily trigger one of my tools. So while the toolbar buttons and the pen button can be useful, for the ability to press and hold, I'm more likely to grab a controller. Alright, so let's test things out. There are a few things that are quite important to me here. The pen response is obviously one of them, but I also want to see that I'm still getting what I'm used to from using this tablet standalone or one of my other many drawing tablets that I use with my laptop. So open up Clip Studio Paint. The first thing I want to see is cursor tracking. When I hover, do I see the brush shape, and do buttons hover actions trigger when I'm holding the pen over them? The answer is no. When I move my mouse here and adjust the brush size, you can see how the brush shape gets bigger and smaller. But if I'm hovering with my pen, I don't see that, which is pretty unfortunate because this is very helpful in predicting your brush stroke. When it comes to the pen response, the pressure looks good. Light strokes appear really well, as I'd expect from the X3 Pro pencil. Going from light to heavy and back to light was pretty smooth. The diagonal lines are okay, but I think it's worth having some smoothing active. I did notice some jitter here, but nothing that I would consider to be a problem, especially while painting. Tilt is not supported by the Magic Drawing Pad, but EasyCanvas does support this. I've tested it on the Galaxy Tab and the iPad. Like I said with the pen button, this is a new thing that EasyCanvas supports, and while it says that it only supports the S Pen, the button on the X3 Pro pencil works too. It's fine to change tools, but it's really not to my liking. Touch is supported here, so these buttons in the toolbar, for example, these can be activated by touch, and I have my normal 1 and 2 finger gestures for undo and zoom and that kind of thing, but not more than that. If you have 3 or 4 finger gestures, those aren't going to work, but this is fine. Something else with these shortcut buttons, I wanted to see if I could press and hold them to temporarily trigger my brush or my eyedropper like I would want from the pen button, but unfortunately that's not possible here either. I tested this in Critter and Rebel too, and everything worked the way I expected. But now that we know the core stuff, what about actually doing some drawing? I hosted an art jam in Magma to make an animal-themed collaborative zine. In the browser, everything worked normally too. Gestures, pressure, all looked good, no quirks encountered. I didn't use the pen button at all, because like I said, I really don't like this activation on release thing. It's just very counter to what I'm used to. And because the buttons don't provide this either, I prefer to grab my keyboard or a remote, like this one from XPPEN or the 8-bit Do Micro. I do like having the touch-enabled display though for navigation. I'm so used to this from my current set of devices that I would really miss it if I couldn't use it. Now there are some key differences with the iPad version of the app. Holding the on-screen buttons down does actually keep the action temporarily active. So I can press and hold to trigger my eraser or eyedropper, and when I release it, it switches back to my brush. Cursor tracking on here works too if you're using the Apple Pencil 2 with an iPad that supports hover. Instead of a pen button, the Apple Pencil 2 has that double tap feature, right? And this is also supported by EasyCanvas. To be honest, I've never liked the double tap feature and I always have it disabled. So overall, this is really not a bad option for this added functionality of your Magic Drawing Pad. Taking it out and about, it's fine as a mid-range standalone tablet. It's not as snappy as something like the Galaxy Tab S9 FE, but this is a nice size and it feels good to draw on. But being able to use this together with my laptop, being able to take advantage of the stronger hardware and my desktop apps when I want to do some more serious painting is pretty convenient, especially while I'm traveling. When it came to drawing, it did the job well. However, I do hope that they'll bring some of those features that are on the iPad over to Android too. The main thing being that cursor tracking on hover. The other thing I'm really hoping for in a future update is that they change the behavior of the pen button. If this can instead trigger on the down press of the button rather than release, I'll be much happier. As it is though, I still think this is a very useful app and worth paying for. But if you already have the previous version of EasyCanvas, whether you're on iPad or Android, I don't really think it's necessary to pay an additional $10 to upgrade. If it's your first time using the app, then definitely look for the 2025 version. That's all for me on this. I'll cover more about the Magic Drawing Pad in another video later. For now, I'm going to get back to this art jam. Happy painting. Ugh.